So, Jai Jagannath, welcome to this special episode about what to do in the Holy Dham, right?
Yes.
Okay, you want to express the question with your own words?
Uh, yeah. So, as you said, when you are doing the dham vas, what all things we need to take care, what all dham aparats we should avoid, and what should be our mood while staying in dham.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. This is a very good question. Actually, the first introductory chapter of my book on Puri and the Home of Jagannath in the original edition in English had a first section about these specific points. Generally, for people who are coming from a Hindu background, most points are already clear and known and established. So, for example, people should observe vegetarian diet, should not get intoxicated or drunk and stuff like that. This is a normal thing that usually all people who come from a Hindu background already know. Also, the basic traditions in the Dham are like, for example, not littering, giving respect to the place in general, removing your shoes in some particular places like temples, or even even not inside the temple, but there are some holy places like the kundas, or some, like in Vrindavan you have the Ras Mandal, which is not inside the temple, so you go inside without the shoes. So this is quite normal. Then another point that I see also people from an Indian background need to remember, because they don't always follow. Because I've seen, for example, in Jagannath Puri, there are lots of Bengalis coming from Calcutta, and especially, but also lots of people from Rajasthan. So not as many as Bengalis come, but from Rajasthan and Gujarat, they have some good group, especially in Kartik, in the month of Kartik. They, instead of going to Vrindavan, they go to Puri. But especially the people from Calcutta, because they think that it's a vacation place, it's a tourist place, it's a beach. Hey, we are going to have some fish, and go to the beach, and so they are not always actually respecting the holy town or even the temple. So maybe it's important to clarify that for the people in general. So the dress, the traditional attire when we visit a holy place in India is usually the best should be what they call ethnic dressing. Ethnic dress means for women, usually either sari or salwar, Punjabi dress, like a tunic and pants and the uttariya. Or, traditionally in the area of Vrindavan, women also wear a long skirt and a choli and a uttariya. So the uttariya is not as big as the sari. So it might be more comfortable for moving around and doing things. So that is generally the idea. I see that men have more problems usually in wearing dhoti. usually men are going around in pants anyway. And at least when I was going around the holy places in India, I was traveling and everything, I was noticing that men usually, they're wearing trousers, but they're also wearing the shirt outside the pants. So it's not exactly a kurta, but it's in that direction. So it's a very short kurta in a sense. But of course, dhoti and kurta should be the best. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know how many people can do that, because dhoti is complicated. People are not.
Yeah, but I wear dhoti.
You wear dhoti, so there's no
Yeah,
problem.
but yeah, here in winters, yeah, you need to have
Uh,
some trousers also inside dhoti.
Well, there are some, underwear that is not exactly trousers, but it's like pants, like long
Yes, yes.
woolen
Yeah,
things.
thermal wear they call it.
Yeah, thermal wear, exactly, thermal wear. So that is perfectly okay, and also under the kurta you can wear some thermal sweater or whatever that keeps you warm enough. It's not a problem. And then on top of the kurta, usually people wear any jacket. There is no problem. Even sannyasis and sadhus, they do that. Jackets are okay when it's cold. You can also wear socks and shoes. That's not a problem. Socks are not allowed for pujaris. Pujaris should not wear socks. But in some cases, when it's really cold, I think that the tendency is to wear socks. So that's not, in any case, it's not an offense. Then this much for the dress. In the winter, people tend to dress more. So even people, visitors who come from outside the Hindu tradition, they are usually covered up enough, so there's no problem. For the tourists who go to, visit the holy place without having a proper, training, upbringing for understanding the proper attire, it is important to note that in the Hindu tradition, less clothing means more renunciation. It's a very bad taste to wear less clothing and display a lack of renunciation. Traditionally, anyone could go even naked. It's not a problem in the Vedic tradition, original Hindu tradition, but that should be a symptom, a sign of renunciation to the body. It's not, showing, flaunting your beauty. That's not the idea. So at least in a traditional mentality in the last few hundred years. Then of course we have, if we go back enough, we have a different situation. Before the Islamic invasions, people used to appreciate the natural beauty of all things. Not for erotic, purpose, but just for the appreciation of beauty. In fact, Hinduism is summarized in the famous three words, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Satyam means truth, Shiva means benevolent, blessings, auspicious. And Sundara means beauty. So beauty is something that should be appreciated in the Hindu tradition. But there's some complications in cultural, social and cultural, environment in the last few hundred years. So it's better not to get involved in controversy in that sense. Then, another thing that usually we discuss when we visit the holy places is that the holy dham is non-different from the spiritual world. So the people who reside in the holy dham should be seen as liberated souls. Like, in the case of Vaishnava, holy dham, they already are Vishnu Dutas, so we can see them as Vishnu Dutas and everything. However, we also know that in this dimension that is superimposed to the spiritual dimension, we also have the crows who go to the Yagya Shala not because they want to worship, but because they want to steal some stuff. So in the holy dham, we also find a dimension of actually bad people, mafia people, criminal people, cynical people. You'll find them. The trick is just avoid them, because we cannot get angry with them anyway, because it's not good for us. Because after all, we are in the holy place. We shouldn't bring bad things to the holy place. So it's not good to get angry with them and try to chastise them or fight them back. We should, but we need to give them, a lot of distance. Keep them, keep away from them. You cannot keep them away, but you can keep away from them. This is my experience. And I found that in Puri, and I found that in Vrindavan as well. I've been into Vrindavan several times. I find it a very intense holy place. But there are also some, there is also some layer of covering. And we know this was also happening 5,000 years ago, because all the Asuras were going to Vrindavan to try to kill Krishna. So there's nothing new. So if you go to Vrindavan, you can still find some Asuras. Trying to take advantage of Krishna, to kill Krishna and get the loot. Like, I think you remember the story of Dvivida? The ape that attacked Balaram, the gopis. Balaram was playing with the gopis, and this Dvivida came and tried to kidnap the gopis, steal the gopis, make a mess. Well, that was Vrindavan. Dvivida was not exactly a good person. So, we can steal that. I remember when I was in Vrindavan 30 years ago, 35 years ago. There was one, famous, very famous mafia guy. His name, I think, was Akilam, something like that. And he was a boss, he was controlling lots of stuff that was going on in Vrindavan. He was he was controlling the black market and even the ISKCON temple. So he had an office inside the ISKCON temple. So, he told me, because I met him, he was quite a character. And I met him and I asked him, but you're not worried, you're doing all these things in the holy town, but he said, but I live in the holy dam, I'm a resident of the holy dam, but what, when I die, even if I'm killed in the holy dam, I go to Vaikuntha. And guess what? He was shot in Delhi.
Oh.
Guess what? Because Krishna is, like with Shishupal, it's not that Krishna is immediately, taking action.
Uh-huh.
But in the end, things will come up. It's better we don't get ourselves in the line of fire. So dangerous. So dangerous. Better we just keep, a general respect towards everyone. We don't attack anyone, we don't insult anyone, we don't bad mouth anyone. Just stay away. Just stay away. So basically, even when you go and visit temples, sometimes not all the temples are kept in a very good way. So it is natural to get, bad impression and bad feelings about the people who are, not doing what they are supposed to do to take care of the temple. The people in charge, they're making a mess. But again, it's not our place to criticize or to attack them or expose them or whatever. We just give pranam to the deity, first and foremost. Then we can give pranam to the pujari, because in any case they have some connection to the deity, even if they're not doing a good job. And then we just go out, we go away. If we want to give some pranami, pranam is always doesn't cost anything. We can give pranam even to snakes. Yes, it's very cheap. Pranami may be a little more meaningful. If we want to give pranami, we should not encourage too much these people. So don't give big donations because you're giving to Krishna. Because you can give to Krishna in your own house. The Krishna that is sitting in a big old temple, historical temple, is not better than the Krishna who's sitting in your puja room. It is the same Krishna. So, it's not that if we go to Tirupati, we give a donation to Tirupati, then we'll have a special blessing. No. We get special blessings from special places and special deities only when the energy, the energy, the spiritual energy of people is pervading the place. Like there is a verse in Bhagavata Purana, I remember, I think it was addressed to Narada, they're saying that the real sadhus are actually purifying the tirthas. The real sadhus, the real devotees go to the tirthas, and rather than being purified by the tirthas, they actually purify the tirtha. because in those places lots of sinners and bad people go to take bath and just leave their bad energy there. So the sadhus need to go to the holy places to clean the atmosphere up a little bit. So depending on your consciousness, you bring your consciousness to the place. So we go to the big temples because hopefully, the old historical temples, because hopefully we can pick up some good energy from the great, genuine, sincere and elevated people who were there before and learn some of their good energy. But usually we can feel what kind of energy is there in the place. So this is my personal experience and realization about the holy places, dham, tirthas, and how to deal with them. Like, I don't know what is the present situation of the Yamuna, for example, the Yamna, whatever pronunciation is there. I remember first time I went to Vrindavan in 84. The Jamuna water was so pure and clear that I was drinking greedily. It was sweet and clear and wonderful. It was nectar, true nectar. 10 years later, it was so polluted, it was not declared unfit for agricultural irrigation. So I didn't even dare to enter the water because you could see how dirty it was. Still, it's a tirtha. A tirtha is always a tirtha. The point is, if it's clean, we can take baths, we can drink, we can enjoy, we can get all the good spiritual energy. If it's dirty, we cannot go beyond the layer of dirt. It's not that the tirtha becomes polluted, because the tirtha is eternal. It's not, it cannot be polluted. It is transcendental. But the point is that above this, this transcendental level is covered, covered by a layer of material dirt. With our material body, we cannot go through it. So it's better we just go mentally. We meditate. We take baths in meditation in the Yamuna. We, drink the water of the Yamuna in meditation, but not physical. Because I don't know now what is the present situation of pollution there. I hope it got better, but no idea. So you may give me some some information, some report.
Yeah.
If you happen, when you are better, more settled, and you have
We
time.
went once, but
Ah,
we didn't drink it because we suspect that it might not be good for
No,
drinking.
don't drink it, don't drink. But how, even visually, when I went there last time, it was sewage. The water was so dirty. The first time in 84, the water was blue. Was so clear, so transparent. But you can see when it's muddy, when it's but by its nature, the water of the Yamuna should not be muddy. If it's muddy, it means sewage. The Ganga is different. The Ganga is yellow because of the mud. Originally, even when the Ganga was clean, it was not clear because it was golden yellow. And in fact, when I went to Mayapur, there is the confluence, the Veni in Mayapur, in Navadvip, Mayapur actually, where the Yamuna and the Ganga meet. And you can see how different the water is. But both waters are very pure, very pure, very clean. The Yamuna was blue, and the Ganga was golden. So it was beautiful. And I collected some mud, some clay, and I made some deities out of that clay, and I still have them. They went through a lot, but from 84 to today. But I still have them. Very small deities. Jagannatha, actually Vallabha is Subhadra.
Okay.
So Jagannatha is Daru, but Vallabha and Subhadra are from the clay of the Vedic in 84. So it was great experience for me. Today, I don't know. We will have to see. Probably it will take some more work to clean up Hinduism. Because the problem is this pollution is not done by foreigners. I know there is a certain section of Hindu nationalists who are, very xenophobic. They blame the foreigners for everything. But this damage was not done by foreigners. So anyway, okay. So other things that could be useful for general, for visiting or staying in the holy place is especially Vrindavan. It is a place for solitary meditation. Try to keep, by yourself. Don't go for the mass or group meditation or kirtans, bhajas like that, because this is not the spirit of Vrindavan. The spirit, these for some people mostly it's happening more, for example, for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Mayapur, Navadvip, and for the Shaivites is happening in some, big Shiva temple, like that. But Vrindavan is not a place for big temples. They have built big temples. But, the mood of Vrindavan, the Shyamasundar is a very simple village boy. And the actual Babajis were not making big ashrams. The Babaji, people who went to Vrindavan, they were going there for meditation, to study, to do japa, to meditate. And Krishna says in Gita twice that one should live alone. So whoever goes to a van, to the forest, that's not for social activities. That's not for social life. Vanaprastha is someone who goes to live in a forest, usually in a sacred forest, to do tapasya, to do austerity, to do meditation. This is, we have hundreds, if not thousands of examples, both from history and from the Shastra. We go to the van, to the forest for quiet meditation, introspection, meditation. You communicate with Krishna in your heart. You don't go for social gatherings. Social gatherings is not the Vana life. It's not the forest life. Now, I don't know how much forest is there in Vrindavan today. Yeah, but there's ain't much. You know, but that is the original spirit. You know, it's not that because, you know, Vrindavan has become a tourist place and so they have the Radha Golf Club, that Vrindavan is a place to go and play golf. You see, you know, it's not that because someone built a big temple, Vrindavan is a place to go to big temples. You know, and even the temples built by the Goswamis, as you were saying that you went to visit them, you know, they were built with the purpose of, creating a meeting place for the devotees in a time of persecution. Because at that time, at the time of the Goswamis, the entire North India and big parts of the rest of India were under the power of the Islamists. You know, practically all the deities in Vrindavan have been taken away or hidden, you know, in some distant place because, you know, he couldn't protect them because from the Islamic raids. So the temple should be a place where people can be protected and protect. But this is not happening anymore. Because, you know, when things, you know, become degraded, like Krishna is saying in Gita, Sakalaneha Mahata Yoga-Nashta. With time, the connection is lost. So naturally, you know, the original purpose of the temple, the original purpose of the sampradaya, the original purpose of the mat, the original purpose of the customs, or, you know, whatever, can get lost. So it's best to visit the temple when nobody else is there, because you can have, you know, peace and you can actually meditate on the deity. I remember especially, I had this experience not so much in Vrindavan, because Vrindavan, I didn't stay long, but I found another Vrindavan in South India, in Guruvayur, you know, Kerala. And I found that Guruvayur is very similar to Vrindavan. The sand is the same. The soil is the same. Exactly the same. And the feeling of Krishna as a child, Balanarayan, is there. Because, you know, in Guruvayur, the deity is a Bala Narayan, is a child Narayan. It is a deity that was given by Brahma to Aditya and Kashyapa, and then it was passed to Sutapa and Prishni, and then it was passed to Vasudeva and Devaki, and then it was the deity of Narayan worshipped by Krishna and Balaram. So when Dwarka was submerged by the ocean, Krishna's grandson Vajra took the deity, this Balanarayan, and was going around trying to find a place to install it. So he was going around with Brihaspati and Vayu, who were helping, and that's why it's called Guruvayur. And Vajra with his companions arrived in Kerala, in a place that was a sacred place of Parashuram, and they found, they were shown a special place where Shiva Mahadeva was also having an important temple where Shiva instructed the Prachetas, as you see in the Bhagavata Purana. So then Raja installed Balanarayan there. And it's very much similar to Vrindavan in that sense, that there is a feeling of Krishna as a child, and Tulsi is great because there's so much Tulsi there. Seriously, more than in Vrindavan. Actually, the word Vrindavana means the forest of Tulsi. You can hardly find any Tulsi in Vrindavan unless you actually grow it in the garden, but in Guruvayur there's Tulsi everywhere, and I got the blessing of actually, entering the temple, and I was going to the temple every day for about 2 weeks, and it was ecstatic because it was so peaceful, so quiet, and so devotional. Even in Vrindavan you not find that. But, Vrindavan is more famous and more accessible because, it's near Delhi. Everybody can, especially since ISKCON opened the Krishna Balaram Mandir, lots of people, have been going to Vrindavan, regularly. I don't think, probably, this also is not so much today because they don't like to have white people going around, foreigners going around. ISKCON itself doesn't want foreign devotees anymore. So okay, so it might be less touristic, but it's still very touristic for Indian people. So I don't know, I didn't see the big development because I've not been in Vrindavan for many years. But I'm told that there are lots of, not only big temples, but also hotels and, very touristic place. I was, particularly, surprised, but not so surprised, about the Radha Golf Club. Oh, what is that? What? Who does that? Who does that? But, that gives me the idea that's not exactly the Vrindavan of the Bhagavata Purana. At least that you can see when you walk around. In 84, practically speaking, only tourists were going to the Loi Bazaar, and they were all, ISKCON tourists. Loi Bazaar, I think you know the Loi Bazaar.
Yes.
It's now I don't know how it has developed, but in those times it was it was just a road with typical very small shops, and most of them were selling devotional clothes, like both for the deities and for devotees.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Still the same, huh? They didn't make the big mall.
Yeah.
Starbucks. They didn't make a Starbucks there. Oh, okay. McDonald's, I don't think so. Okay. So, yeah, well, it would be nice. If you want, you can take some photos.
Yeah, sure.
So if you take some photos, we can make a special presentation. Vrindavan today. Your family is so sweet. And as they say, so sweet. Okay. So, that is, what else is coming to your mind about this subject that I didn't elaborate?
I think we covered.
We covered everything.
Yes.
Yeah, because basically, this is usually how you go around, how you deal with people. How you go to temples. Temple, you already know. Remove your shoes. You don't use your phone inside the temple. You don't make phone calls. You don't, play video games. You don't sit with your feet towards the deity. You don't sit with your back to the deities. Which many people, many people of Hindu background, they really don't care, but they should care. And if you, I don't think that you're likely, or your wife, and are likely to dress in black or red or blue. Maybe not, because these are considered inappropriate colors for a Vaishnava temple. Because the black and blue and red are typical tantric colors.
Okay.
So even if you have a dhoti, don't buy red or blue or black. Yellow, white or brown base, light brown, they're okay. Red, blue, black, they're not cute. Then, of course, leather articles are not a good idea, like belts, wallets, and stuff like that. Shoes, leather shoes could be okay, but you have to let them outside anyway. While you're not going to leave your closet, belt, or wallet outside the temple. It's not a good idea. And so if you have some clothes or synthetic, that should be better. And what else can be interesting? No. Well, you go to temple, usually the pujari is giving you some charanamrita, some paduka, so that is usually you accept it in your right hand and you drink it. It's not, they're not going to give a lot of it, so usually it's a few drops, so it's not application. So prasad, they usually don't give prasad. The prasad they're giving is usually the padamrita. They're not giving big things. In some temples, they could give some like sugar, raw sugar, some sugar candy or something like that, which is totally okay to eat. More rarely they give some fruit pieces, which we accept, but they usually don't give actual food. The actual food meal is only in some particular occasions, but it's not taken inside the temple. Because you should not eat in front of the deities. If you go and see the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is a big list of offenses to avoid. But most of them are not likely to happen. You're a good person, so you're not disrespectful to Shiva Mahadev, Kshetrapala Mahadev, whatever devas. So you don't have to worry about that. People who think they're great devotees of Krishna and they don't show respect to Kshetrapala Mahadev actually can never access the real Vrindavan. at most, at best, they can only access the material level. They cannot get inside the chick. So they cannot get real contact with the chick. So offering respect to Kshetrapal Mahadev is essential.
We went to Gopeshwar Mahadev. We asked for his blessings.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I know you're not in danger for that, but we are telling the general public it's good to know for them, because some people are under the mistaken idea that to show more devotion to Krishna one has to offend the demigods. So, nothing really. So, okay, then that's it. That's it. So, I think more or less we covered. If you have other questions, other ideas, and everything, we can also.
Yeah, one more thing I
Yes,
just wanted
please.
to ask was we know that the main deities which were installed by Goswamis now moved to other places due
Yeah,
to Muslim invasion. So,
yeah.
what should be our mood? Like, we should be more hankering to go to those places where the actual deities are, or these places also have the same aura, and what should be our mood
Uh,
in that case?
you see. Um, as I was saying before, the difference about historical deities and historical temples is the spiritual energy that is accumulated by the people going there. Because also we know that Krishna is attracted by the love of his devotees. So not only the spiritual energy of the devotees, but also the spiritual energy of Krishna, who is coming to meet with his devotees. So this is a surcharge of spiritual energy that we can find in some historical and traditional big temples. Now, of course, there have been centuries in which, lots of people, lots of, loving devotees have gone to see the Madan Mohan in Jaipur. Is it in Jaipur? I think it's Jaipur, huh? In Rajasthan.
Yeah, it's in Jaipur. Like
Yeah.
some are in Jaipur, some are in Karoli.
Yes,
That's what I've
but
heard.
for example, the point is, you go to these new temples, relatively new temples, and you can feel the energy since the deities have been there. The deity is not independent. We know that the deity can be, uninstalled. This is called Visarjana. It's not that God is forced to stay in a particular deity, particular vigraha. The vigraha is like the vehicle for the deity. Just like our body is the vehicle for the Atman. So, if the deity is disfigured, the spiritual energy goes away. It doesn't have to stay there. But if the deity is worshipped properly, immediately God is manifesting. And the longer God is manifesting in that form, the more spiritual energy is accumulated. So when the deity is worshipped sincerely, in a proper way, that doesn't mean a very grand way, it's just the devotion that counts, especially with Krishna. Krishna does not want opulence, because our opulence is a joke compared to God's actual opulence. So we think we are doing such big things for Krishna. Krishna doesn't care for the big things. He just cares for devotion. Patram pushpam palam toyam. Yomem bhaktya prayachati. So if someone is offering only, little water, one small fruit, one leaf, either tulsi or any other edible leaf is good. Don't offer poisonous leaves, because that's not a good idea. But whatever good leaf you have, you can offer. Flowers, okay. If you find nice flowers with a sweet smell, okay, you can grow them. Especially in India, you can grow flowers very easily. You have flowers all year round. In the winter you have the marigolds. What is the name there? In Hindi name of the marigold. Anyway, so that is also has some good smell. So all winter, even when it's very cold, the marigolds are growing. So and they're like infestant even. The marigolds, you just drop one old flowers and 30 plants are coming up. So we don't need to do big things. Krishna, especially Vrindavan, doesn't care for big things, big temples, grand rituals and everything. But it's a devotion that accumulates. So in all the temples, historical temples like those in Vrindavan, like Madan Mohan and everything, if there is no deity, if they're just dilapidated places, the amount of spiritual energy is very low, because it went away. But if devotees go with a loving heart to visit those old places, and they meditate intensely enough on Krishna in those places, there you get, there you go, the spiritual energy comes back. So, your question, if it is better to go to the ancient temples in Vrindavan or the new temples where the deities actually went, it's not such a simple question. It doesn't have a simple answer, because it is the love and devotion that calls Krishna. So you can call Krishna in any place. If the love and devotion is there, the longer this love and devotion is cultivated, and the more people come with proper love and devotion, the more spiritual energy, spiritual power that place and that deity will have. And this is something I personally also experienced. I was actually I joined the ashram in 78, and I joined the actual temple with the deities in 1980. From 1980 to 1984, I was very closely associated with deity worship. The deities installed there were Jagannatha, Baladev, Subhadra, no Sudarshan. Then there was the Gauranitai, Chaitanya Nityananda. And then later also Radha, Krishna were installed. and I think the two gopis also later on. So basically it was a complete Vaishnava temple. And the first one was the small Gornitai, the small Krishna and Nityananda. Then Jagannath was installed. Then the big Gornitai were installed, and the big Radha Krishna, and then I think the two gopis. But when the two gopis were installed, I was not in that temple anymore. That was, I think, after 84. So, I had, wonderful experiences because we had quite a good group of sevakas, pujaris. I was in the deity's kitchen practically, very often. My main service was in the publication department, but I was very often in the deity's kitchen. And I was very friendly, close to the pujaris who were dressing the deities or doing the arati and everything. And I've seen things. I have experienced things. And I tell you, I've seen the manifestation of the deity. Deity is not just an image, it's a person. That God is, Krishna is directly manifesting. And, can manifest physically even. Like, for example, I remember, especially the small Gornitai, it was easy to see that they were getting fat and losing weight, depending who was cooking, and what was cooked.
Okay.
So, that was verified by the fact that the person who was in charge of the clothing, the outfits for the deities, was getting crazy because the clothes were not fitting anymore. So that was, and I also had this, similar experience with my small deities, my personal small deities, that sometimes they were getting a nice tummy. And then at other times, the tummy was going. So that's my experience, my knowledge about this. So you are in Vrindavan is good because you are constantly reminded of this. But the relationship with Krishna is very personal. So, you go to the temples, you think about Krishna, remember Krishna, this is bhakti. If you want to go to Jaipur, you go to Jaipur. You see, Madan Mohan, it's not a problem. Madan Mohan is there. Lots of people are going there because of Madan Mohan. So lots of people are going there and offering devotion to Madan Mohan there. So it's practically a second Vrindavan. So there is no duality, in fact, because it's the same Krishna. It's not a different, same Madan Mohan, not a different Madan Mohan. Okay, is that answering your question? I think your family
Yes,
is
yes.
busy.
No, they are talking around.
Okay. So they're not disturbed by our...
No, I put my headphones, so they are doing
okay.
their stuff.
Okay, good. So, does it answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Any other thing you want to bring up?
No. I think for today we are good.
Okay, thank you. So, Jai Jagannath, and we can reconvene next time.